Feel yourself resting comfortably, physically and mentally. Feel all of that good energy we've been sharing this afternoon. Feel that coming to a still point within, allowing the peace to be known. And in that space of peace and love, we will invite the one known as Jeshua, Yeshua, Jesus, to be with us in this way. Beloved and holy and only child of our Heavenly Father, child of the one source, child of light, divine. That is who you are. Take it deeply within the consciousness and contemplate what that means. Child of light and love. I am the one known as Jeshua ben Joseph. Jesus, you have called me, and it is in great joy that I come to abide with you this afternoon, almost evening, in your timing. Any time is a good time when you open your mind and heart and realize, make real in your understanding and consciousness the allness of spirit. Great joy. Now, beloved ones, you have been celebrating the last few days the high energy of who and what you are. You have been coming to that place of realizing, making real in your awareness that which you are, not only the body, the human of you, but the spirit of you, the spirit of allness. You have the most wondrous language of the omnis. Yes, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, and you are. At this one moment, as you are sitting here contemplating, okay, what are we going to be doing in the next few moments? The spirit of you is directing. The spirit of you is asking, wanting to know, truly to know, to feel, to be all that it is. You are the extension of God, Goddess, all that is, right now, right here. You are all that you have ever been and all that you will ever be. Oh no, Jeshua, this is all? And more. And there is more. Such a good slogan saying that you have in your world at this time, because there is more that you are becoming aware of. You are in the stream of divinity, forever flowing, forever knowing itself, forever expressing and experiencing the physical, the spiritual, the mental, as it all comes together as one. In the first thing in the morning, when you first wake up and you take that breath and says, oh, I'm back here in this room, hopefully, that is what you say, that you're not waking up somewhere strange. Allow yourself to feel the Godhood that you are, the God part of you, the energy that is exercising the body, the breathing, even the mental of what you are thinking. Because I know if you are of the human sort, you're probably starting with the first breath of awareness, planning out the day, what you have to do. Oh no, Jeshua, I have to. Yes, you do. And it is okay because you have chosen. You have chosen the human experience for a time, and you live it in time. And you celebrate truly the power of human. You make decisions, you either feel good about them or you feel like, oh, heaven help me, and heaven hears you, and you go forth, not alone, never alone. when you look at that word, even in your language, all one, you go forth in the oneness that you are, in the Christ being that always you are, whether you recognize it or take stock of it, always you go forth as the one. So you take that deep breath, you energize the body, and you allow a moment, hopefully, of holiness, of realizing, making real in your awareness that you are the spirit that activates the body. You have a body, but it is not all of you, and you activate it to carry out that which you have agreed that you will do. Oh no, Jeshua, I never agreed to this human life. No, it was forced upon me. Beloved one, take your power. Begin to understand that everything you experience and everything you put out there is by choice. You have signed up, yes, you've signed the contract that says, I will be human for a time period. I will go amongst what seem to be the various particles of humanhood, and I will allow, hopefully, the God self of me to speak through me and to act through me. Now sometimes this gets a bit of a detour, and you make what you would call the human choices, and yet every time you exercise the human of you, it is the divine that allows you to do. So, feel, know, acknowledge that the spirit of you is alive and well. Put the smile on your face, because when you do that, you are activating the very cells of the body, coming alive as the spirit, as the energy of God's self. You never walk alone. Now I know in the human experience there are many times when you feel alone. There are times when you say, this decision is too much for me. And you call upon your guides and teachers, either in human form or above, and you say, what can I do? What should I be doing? Do I have any help? I have heard all of you call out, I need some help. And it is good that you do that, because as you will do that, you are acknowledging that there is more to you than just this body, just this one mind, and you are opening yourself to the divine power of you as the allness of you. So do not start to berate yourself if you feel you have to ask for help. I know in your prayers you ask for help, and this is very good to realize, to make real in your awareness, to know, ask, and feel the allness of you. Because you are, as you have said in your prayers, I hope I am more than just the body, and much more than the name that I have chosen to go by, much more than all of the degrees and papers that I have attesting to how wonderful I am. Hopefully, God, you are with me as well. And yes, you cannot go anywhere without God. It is your very nature. And no matter how you may stand in opposition to it and berate yourself, because you're not really worthy of having God's help. Well, yes, you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. But allow yourself even that feeling that acknowledges that there must be something more than just the human. And there is. You speak? Yes? It is wisdom reminding you that yes, that which you are thinking, feeling, knowing right now is true. You are the expression of God. God is all it is in every moment, come to this point of focus. So, you take a deep breath. I've said this to my beloved friend and teacher, the one you know is Judith. To take that deep breath, stand up straight and go forward. And in the beginning, when we first started this semi-partnership, she said, I can't do what you're asking me to do. No, that's way beyond me. Maybe somebody else can do it, but I can't do it. I said, try it. You might like it. Try it. I'm saying that to all of you. Try it. You might like it. You also might remember that you have done it before. For in truth, all of you, even in this day and time, open your mouth from time to time and speak truth. You speak from the heart of you, from the love that you are. So allow yourself to know, even if you have to say, it is God speaking through me, and feel that it might be something out there speaking through me, something different. Everything is one. Everything is love. So, you take the deep breath, you brush off the responsibility off of the shoulders, and you speak love. You play the tones of the music of love. You allow people to rise up in their body energy and to feel energized, loved, spiritualized, yes, bringing that spirit into the human expression, being aware of it. It's always there, but being aware of it and saying, I am love. I am happy. I am. You come to a place of full knowledge and you say, I am. And you are. Believe it or not, and a lot of times you don't believe it, you are God in expression. You are, with a great responsibility on the shoulders, to be love in action. You have signed up. Jeshua, where did I sign the paper? I don't remember signing any paper. Well, you didn't sign a paper. You signed it with your whole being. And you said, send me. I will go. I will use whatever talents seem to be with me in the time, your precious time, to bring forth the realization, making real in my awareness and others as well, if they're open to it, the realization of God, love, being right here, right now. When you see someone and you recognize them and you smile, who is doing the smiling? God is. Yes, the God energy, the love that wants to go forth and heal, to bring together all the seemingly separate parts, and to bring them together in love, in healing, in knowing oneness. I know that the separate personalities seem to be separate, and yet, beloved ones, there is a stream of consciousness that you live, move, and have your being in, whether you acknowledge it or not. So, you might as well take the deep breath and say, okay, as I have heard many of you say, here goes, we'll give it a try. I've been reading this book, Jeshua, and it says that God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son. Now, that's not quite true because there are more than one. There is more than one. There are more than one. Well, whatever. And it is you. Come forth to find the oneness of you in love. And you are well on your way to finding that, to acknowledging it, and to being okay with it. For long you have known that you are love. As the little one, you came in asking for love, wanting to have someone give that sunshine of love to you, and to bask in it, and also to give it back. And then there were various aspects of the world that came in and said, well, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with that? And the big knowing of awareness of love was somehow put in the background. And the world says, you must attend to me. You must make your peace with me, with the world and its various aspects. And when you made your peace with a certain aspect of it, what happened? Another piece ran in and said, how do you feel about this? Right up in your face. How do you feel about this? And so you made your peace with it, various techniques, various things, and you sent your love to that aspect, and you thought, okay, now that part, it's healed. This is great. What happened next? Another one. Said, okay, how do you feel about this? And you found yourself caught up in the world and all of its questions. It was called growing up. And then you got to your teenage years, and oh my goodness, there was good because you fell in love with someone. And there was also not so good because how were they going to see you? How were they going to act? Would they return your love? Oh my goodness. And for many of you, in filling your contract, now yes, you did have a contract when you accepted humanhood. Yes, you did sign on the dotted line. Yes, you did say that you would have a human life and that you would enjoy it. I never said that, Jeshua. I said I might suffer. I mean, you suffered, didn't you? No, in truth, I did not. I knew how to separate the whole self of me from the human self. And you do too. When the world will come and it will demand of you that you pay attention, that you suffer, that you really wrestle with how are you going to make this decision. What's right to do? I don't know what's right to do. And the world will be right in front of you, saying, you have to decide right now. You have to, and you say, I don't know enough to make that decision. I'll come back later and I'll sign the paper maybe. Okay. But you do know enough at a very deep level of you, the Christ level as it has been called, the true you, the energy that gives you life. And you take that deep breath and you trust and you go forward. Sometimes you will have a friend who will speak the word for you. Sometimes it just happens that a book comes and lands on your desk or on your hand, and you say, oh, well, yeah, that kind of answers my question. Okay. And you go forward and you say, thank you. And what you are doing when you are trying to give credit to something higher above you, you are really saying thank you to the whole self of you, because you are much more than just this. You are this, all of you. And the most wondrous part is you meet yourself seemingly as another individuated energy coming towards you, speaking a word which may trigger something that makes you wake up and say, oh yeah, I'd forgotten that part. Oh, okay, and you get an insight into what's going on. And you are uplifted out of the muck and mire of what the world of your making, not of God's making, but of yours, you are lifted up out of that. And then what do you do usually? You turn around and say, okay, now what do I do? Oh, okay, I find another challenge. You like challenge. You like the feeling of coming up overcoming the challenges. And that is all well and good if you realize at the very basic part of that, you are the one who has set the challenge into motion in the first place. Okay. That is how wise you are. That is how innovative you are. That is how creative you are. And you are in joy with your creations. Most wondrous. Your four-footed ones are here as companions. They are the spirit, same as you, walking on the 4 feet in that case, wanting to be loved, wanting to be acknowledged as being here, activating a form, same as you. So you look at them, you smile, you feed them perhaps. All of the four-footed ones, the ones that swim in the water, the ones that have the most wondrous flying techniques. Any of you remember flying? Sure you do, all of you. You have activated, in truth, all of the different forms that you can think of, and some that you cannot think of, some that you think have been here a long, long time ago. Have you ever been the dinosaur? Sure you have. Did you like the feeling? Well, it was okay for a time. And then when you wanted to go in the small cave, it didn't fit. Okay. So you came back as something smaller. And then you chose to be human. Oh no. To walk on the 2 feet and hopefully to love. Love, you have a saying, conquers all, and it does. If ever you get into the place where you don't know what to do or you don't know the answer to something, ever been there? Oh no, of course not. No. Stop. Breathe. Love. Allow space for the answer, and it will come to you. Nothing ever will be denied you. Hear that well. Nothing can be denied you. You are the creator of your reality, lowercase r. You use the uppercase reality that you are in order to create the lowercase r reality. So if you were doing that, wouldn't you have a little bit of power over the small case reality? Well, I have news for you. Yes, you do. As your wise one was sharing with you in this afternoon, you stop. Use a technique, whatever works for you. Sound. It's a very good way to get the unfocusedness, where you're being so focused on something that you cannot see the answer for the trees. Okay? To get to that place of unfocusing and allow the answer to come. Because the answer, if it is a question, it has an answer right with it. Otherwise, it's not a question. It's a statement. Okay, so if you have a question, allow yourself to do some of the techniques that your wise ones share with you, and be open, and the answer will come to you. It's right there. There is no question that comes undressed. Every question comes with its answer. It has to. Otherwise, it's not a question. Otherwise, it's a statement. So, if a question is looming in front of you and you are wondering, okay, where do I go with this? Use some of the techniques that have been given to you, shared with you, and come to that place of quiet within where all of a sudden, whoop, the answer is right there for you. It cannot be denied you. You are the maker of your reality, lowercase r. You use the capital R to make all of these little realities that sometimes seem to have problems, and then to use any technique which works for you to come to that place of peace within. And there you find the answer waiting for you. Has been there all the time, but a lot of times there's a saying in your world about you can't see the tree for the forest. Well, there you go. Yes. So you allow some of the clearing to happen, and then the answer is there, and you say, oh, it's been there all the time. Well, yes. You are the maker of your reality, lowercase r. So if you don't like it, stop, breathe, ask, and claim. Everything is there for you. Stop, breathe, release all preconceived ideas, and claim your answer. I think there's a song in that somewhere. Beloved ones, you are glowing. There is an energy about you that has been amplified this afternoon in your timing, in the time that you have spent with each other in heightened awareness. As I speak to you now, there is an energy that is what you would call beaming. It is quite bright and quite visible as you look upon each one. And there is an energy, a spiritual energy, bright, glowing, to the place where if you were receiving, and you are receiving, you would need to put your sunglasses on. Now, in this season of the year, probably you don't have the sunglasses in your pocket. I would suggest that there you go, there are the sunglasses. Most needful, this is what I'm going to recommend, that you carry your sunglasses with you in a pocket somewhere easy to put on, because you are going to be seeing more and more of your friends being light beings, light activators, because there is, as you have suspected, a change, an awakening that is going across the face of Holy Mother Earth. Ones are tired of the doom and gloom and the being against something. And they are asking for a way out of this heaviness. There is a knowing somewhere in the back of the mind yet that they are wanting to bring forward, a knowing that there can be happiness. And they are searching, sometimes going through all of the doom and gloom and stuff that they think they have to go through first in order to be worthy. Well, I say to you, from the moment they take the idea of individuality, they are still bringing their worth with them as the godhood that they are. Otherwise, they would not have power to assume an individuality. But for the time being, I can't see it. Yeshua, Jeshua, Jesus, I don't see it. They say that you are the Christ, and it was okay for you, and now you sit at the right hand of God the Father. Well, I'll tell you, I swim in the energy current of the Father at all times, the same as you do, and for the most part, I do not sit. I tried that. It was a bit boring. So I decided I would get into the current and I would swim with it. Being happy, joyful. Being in joy. Very good. That now is set in your consciousness, the joy of your being. And you can call it forth at any time, even if you are in the midst of the most horrific movie and you are thinking, oh, this is terrible. Stop. Breathe. Bring in the joy. And say, this is just drama. Hey, you know, those actors, including me, as you feel yourself to be an actor in the drama, how well they play their parts. And you do. And there's more. Beloved ones, it is a joy to see the awakening, to feel your energy coming alive and feeling that it is possible to be happy. And it is. All of you, no matter how tall, how small, how thin, how big, you are, how many years you have garnered to yourself, you are still the child of the Father. You are still the Christ being. Always have been, always will be, past the idea of time. And you come and you play for a time because it's fun, and you meet up with someone and you smile at them and they smile back at you and you think, oh, that feels so good. I think I'll stay and play. And you do, which is fine. Allow yourself to know that the Christ of you is alive and well and walks this holy earth. And I walk with you. So until we meet again in this way, be aware that I am walking with you, even, well, I was going to say on a silent path, but it's not that quiet, because we do speak to each other. So be it. Now, I have been instructed that there are questions that ones have had over the past few days, and that this would be a time of Q&A, is it called? Q&A? What does that stand for? Question and answer. Oh, question and answer, of course. Okay. So you will be moderator, perhaps?
Yes, we will be moderating.
We shall see what has been learned, what has been remembered. It's not so much learned, but remembered.
So if anyone has questions, we will have, take them from the room first, and we'll have a microphone, right, Bill? Please do speak into the microphone, hold it so our folks on Zoom can feel included. And we'll do one question at a time, one question for you, and then the next time, yeah. Don't ask multiple questions at the, give other people a chance to ask questions.
Jeshua, I'd like to know if you had to pick one technique that you used to stay centered, what was that for you?
In the time and day and time where I lived, when I lived as an entity, okay, it was thought that there was wisdom written in the Holy Scriptures. And you have a story about me when I was 12 years of age and went to the temple in Jerusalem for the first time. And I had a overarching question, which many of you have had. I wanted to know, who is God? Where is God? And so I asked the learned ones, who is God? He supposedly lives in the temple. Can I meet him? And I received various answers. And I thought that there would be one answer, that he was probably somewhere in the recesses of the temple, and that I could converse with this very wise one. Well, as it turned out, there were quite a few wise ones in the temple, but not just one, which gave weight and evidence to my belief that we are all walking, living, breathing, speaking God. But it was interesting, the same as it would be for you when you would go into a religious edifice and you would say, I want to speak to God. And they would tell you whatever their theology is, and you would say, okay, that's okay up to a certain point. But I want to speak with a learned one with a beard. I want to speak to someone who has authority. And sometimes they would give me the high priest, but all he did was read from a book. So, same as the question that you have been asking for lifetimes. Where is God? Within. There is a knowing that cannot be denied, because you are it. This was said to me in various ways, if they had enough understanding. A lot of times they did not have even the understanding to say, yes. They would say, well, it is the learned ones in the scriptures, in the holy writings, and still trying to put it outside of them. But that didn't quite resonate, because I had had experience of knowing the God of the bird by the roadside. You have your story, and this is true, where there was a bird seemingly passed on, dead, whatever, and I took the bird in my hands, and I looked at it, and I knew that life is. And the bird fluttered a bit and decided, oh, okay, I've been called. Same as for you, same as for any human form. When there is a calling and it is acknowledged, then the physical gets going again. Okay? Long-winded answer to your question. Yes.
So am I to understand then each of us just has to look for our own calling or path by your answer?
You are already...
Some might be sounds such as Vicky Dodd, some might be prayer, some might be meditation, some might be whatever else there is, breath work, etc.
Exactly.
Thank
And
you.
when you least expect it, it will come right in front of the face. Whether you know it's in that pathway, it comes right to you, knocks on your door. Yes, beloved one.
Jeshua, here at Unity Church, we worship an all-pervasive power that is everywhere. God is everywhere in everyone, and we are all expressing this power. And that's why we love it here.
Right.
But in this day and age, there are Christian prophets in the world who are speaking of the great spiritual war between lightness and dark, or God and Satan. And when they speak of a world that seems like this is the world we're living in today. And this battle is coming to a great crescendo, and they are telling us that light is already won. And if there is a battle, I would say light is already won. But when the God speaks through these prophets, he speaks to them about the enemy, and sometimes even calls names of the enemy in the world. Those that have chosen not love rather than love. And I just cannot help but ask, who is this God that speaks through these prophets in the world? Or what is the God that speaks through the prophets that are conveying to us about the spiritual battle that's being fought today in the world between lightness and dark?
It is of their own making. Yes. There is yet a very strong desire to live in drama. Drama quite often gets the hormones, I think it's called, of the body, raging, being really rising up and wanting to have to do something and to prove to somebody, I am right. And this is why I say to you over and over, be in love. Love heals. It is the healer. It is the place that brings that which has been all separate to come into sync with itself. Okay, so it is thus what you describe has been for ages, ever since there seemed to be seemingly two separate personages, bodies, whatever you want to call it, who would say, I am right, and so forth. And I will prove to you I am stronger than you. And what has been shown down through the ages is, yes, you can cut off the sound, but it does not change the answer. There is only one. So, you smile, you love, and you walk on. You don't have to prove that you are right. You don't have to prove anything to them because they have their own belief. They are, meantime, seeing only part of what is going on around them, okay? And all of you have done this in growing up. You have seen that which really spoke to you, and that which seemed to be of another language, and sometimes it was. It will, in time, take heart. It will, in time, heal itself. But there may be a lot more of the, well, I don't want to use the word carcass, but that seems to be the only one that my beloved friend can find. There may be a few of the debris, whatever, left behind until there is a rising up of love. Be of good cheer. Love is, and the is will win out. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I believe that you said before, I'm not sure if it was from the Course in Miracles or the Way of Mastery, that the atonement has already occurred.
Oh, yes.
So we're already, there's nothing we really need to do. And that's what I'm gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And what keeps coming to me is trust God, trust God, trust God. And so when I've been doing that, we have a saying, our minds get blown. My mind has been blown.
Okay.
And in these last few days with these women that have these medicine women, these Christ consciousness people have literally proven to me that if you trust God, people are going to show up, and it may not be who you think.
Right.
So, am I on the right track here? I mean, I'm just asking, just saying. Just keep trusting God.
Right.
Really, that's all I need to do.
Right, and not God as an entity. That's where there has been, well, yes, it is separation. And down through the ages, it has been believed that God had to be a warrior and would take care of all of the enemies and whatever and make you safe. But you are already safe in the truth of your being. You will, even if the body is destroyed, what will you do? You'll come back again, make a new body and come back again, and repeat over and over and over until finally you get a bit tired and you say, well, there must be a different way of answering this question. And when you come to that place where you say, I am open and willing and ready to hear something more, then at that point you will receive more. You will understand and know that there is much more. But until that point, you keep repeating and repeating and saying, God is outside of me, God is in the mountain, God is, etc. But yes.
So God is within. So I'm basically saying I trust myself, my capital I self, the I am.
Right. Yes. You trust the wisdom of love. Don't have to be right, but you trust the wisdom of love. If you are going to take anything out of the meetings that we've had together, take that, to trust the wisdom of love. Because you have a most powerful saying in your world. When you're having a discussion with someone and they have their point of view and you have your point of view, you're saying, you may be right, but I don't think so. But it is okay. You say that first part, and if you come into a place of equanimity with it, you may be right, which is the truth of your being. You may be right. Okay. Then you don't have to fight for whatever. It just is. And then love rushes in and says, okay.
Yay. Somebody agrees.
Yes, yes, yes. He, she hears it and agrees, yes.
Jeshua, I have been accused of toxic positivity. And it just blows me away. And I do kind of know when that happens that I am trying to be a cheerleader. And I am trying to switch that around to listen more instead of putting out. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I believe that. And then it, it gets turned back on me. Oh, you're just so positive.
So?
I know.
Right.
It's ironic.
They called me a fool. They judged, said I didn't know what I was talking about. Okay. I loved them anyway. I knew there's a trick here, a technique, it's not a trick. What you do in a case where you have a difference of opinion, for yourself, you step back, and you can do it physically if you need to, but mentally step back and realize, make real in your awareness. I have known this one in other lifetimes. We have had this discussion in other lifetimes. They are okay where they are. I am okay where I am. Full stop, period. Love. Because as you have experienced, the words do not change anything. You can go blue in the face, okay, trying to explain why I am right. I got this from my God self, and I know I'm right. Well, sure. Be right in your own self, but don't worry about convincing someone else. Their truth is their truth. Meantime. Okay. Yes, sir.
What you're just talking about being right, it reminds me of a phrase from a song. You may be right, I may be crazy, but it may just be a lunatic you're looking for.
Very good. Yes. I will get someone to type that up for me so I can make a sign out of it. Thank you.
We have a question from the internet.
Very good, yes.
Miriam, would you like to ask your question?
Yes.
Let me just put you on the screen.
Beloved Jeshua,
Yes.
how can we make our prayers more effective and meaningful?
Well, it depends on how you define meaningful. Yes. In the first place, you don't have to make your prayer more meaningful. It is already meaningful. It comes from your heart, hopefully, not just the mind of, well, this is how I should pray, but the true prayer is coming from the heart, and it is coming from the truth of your being, that I want to know who I am and to live in the fullness of that being. And so, whatever serves the awakening, the awareness, follow that path. It will lead you home. Do not value judge according to what is written in your scriptures or what someone supposedly learned has to say. Trust your heart, your inner being. You know. For you have a technique, a way of knowing in the music that you play. And if you ask a question and you sit down and you decide to play something, how does that feel? And if you come to the place where you say, it really doesn't matter what the words are, the feeling, and then you play something that accentuates and supports the feeling. That is love. There you are. You have your answer. It is simple, and yet down through the ages, ones have wanted to make it much more difficult and prove it by the written word, what is in the holy book, okay? And yet, this is where the answer is, in knowing that my brother is myself. I love myself, hopefully you do, and I love my brother, sister, whatever. To be okay with that. It's really not a very deep question. It is just to breathe, smile, and love. Sounds like a slogan. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Very good. I would say to you, beloved one, always, you know the answer to the question even before you ask it. But thank you for asking. There is a clarity that comes forth. Thank you. Yes. Bye. Yes?
Cynthia, did you want to ask a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay. How can we spontaneously heal ourselves if we don't want to completely give our power completely over to the medical profession, as good as they are in some ways? Or is it a different process for each person?
Yes, as you have acknowledged, it will be a different process for each person. It is, as you have already understood, to go within and to ascertain where you are coming from, what you want to heal, and come to the place of saying, thank you. I have already received. That is most powerful prayer. Thank you. I have already received. I am healed. I am whole. It is the same as being healed. I am whole because you are. You are in the stream. You can visualize a stream of running water. And I am in the stream of life. I am whole in that stream. Therefore, I accept. Now, you may have to say it over and over, and you may have to come to the place where you feel like you are just repeating and repeating and repeating. That is okay. Keep repeating. At some point, the penny will drop, and it will say, oh, yes, I knew this. Okay. Also, do not deny any kind of healing that may be offered to you if it feels right. In other words, you don't have to say, oh, I'm not going to do any of the world stuff. I'm going to heal myself. Sometimes you heal yourself by being open to the remedy of the world. In other words, there may be some technique, there may be some medicine, as it is called, that will aid the wholeness. The true healing comes from the awareness that I am already whole. Coming to that place of God does not make junk. God does not inflict on me punishment by a certain illness. God doesn't do that. God, as we have explained and talked about it in the recent days, is the flow of energy, of Christ energy, of the stream of living waters, yes. And you are in it all the time, anywhere, anytime. Just to stop, breathe, and give thanks.
Thank you, Jeshua.
Yes, that is most powerful. Stop, breathe, and give thanks. Because you have already received. Otherwise, you would not be asking the question. Yeah. Aha. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. So, how are we doing for questions?
Are there any more questions from our Zoom folks? Oh, Joel has one.
Oh, yes. Very good.
Yes, I have a question, Jeshua. So I noticed that depending on the channeler that I'm listening to, I resonate with certain message differently. So I would just like your insight on that. Why is it that there's certain channelers that we resonate more with, or a certain particular message that we resonate more with? Yeah.
Right. And this is true. This will vary from lifetime to lifetime, and also from stage of life, where you are in the awareness of who and what you are in any lifetime. There will be certain energy that you feel at one with. Follow that. That is healing. Do not worry about, well, this one says that it comes highly recommended. Well, a lot of your messages, especially for healing, come highly recommended. But allow yourself to sit with it and to see how it feels for you. Know that truly the most healing of energies can be the peace that you feel. How do I find peace? How do I find wholeness? Well, this varies from individual to individual. It may be for you to go out in nature. It may be for you to do the exercise of the body. It may be for you a certain remedy of eating a certain way. It comes down to the belief, the individual belief, and this, beloved friends, can vary from lifetime to lifetime. So, and from person to person. So do not judge too heavily. Do what feels healing. Do what you eat that seems to be of healing nature. And this will vary from person to person, culture to culture. And be okay with that. Because various lifetimes you have needed, or at least asked for, certain remedies. And thought them to be more healing than others. And there was no value judgment in it. In other words, they were all right for different ones who chose them. Go in peace. Go in happiness. Be in that place of celebration that I am alive, joyous and enthusiastic. And that itself is healing. I am healed, whole. I am living a life that is whole and happy. And you have spoken the words, and thus it is so. You are, beloved one, I will get off the answer there a bit, but it's not very far off. You are a healer in your own way. You have a certain energy around you that believes in the best. And you can be with a friend who may be suffering and may have a label that says this is coming from whatever the label is. And you will smile at them, you will support them, you will believe in them, you will listen to them, and then you will say, you know, I've heard of, and you will speak to them of a certain teaching that is uplifting. You will, in other words, change the subject, because oftentimes when ones think they are suffering from a certain bodily problem, the most healing is to change the subject and get into something that is uplifting, that is fun, that changes the whole energy around what they are thinking about. That is the true secret of a healer, is to get one to move the thinking into, I am whole, I am full stop, period. I am. Hey, life can be fun, you know? And you don't need to say it in those words, but you will kind of example it to them, suggest to them whatever lifts them up, gets their mind in a different avenue. You may try, as one shared with us in this day and time, the practice of the sound and the gibberish of it to the place where there is a silence, a holy silence within. That is the healing of the whole self. You are on the most wondrous path, an exciting path. For in truth, you are a healer. You will develop the healing modalities of being a healer. And I do not mean the ordinary pathway where you get the certificate up on the wall. That doesn't matter. That is what heals. What you are doing right now. The smile. The belief in the best and the highest of each person you are with. You will say to them, either in words, but definitely silently, I know who you are. And you do. You know the God self of each individuated, seemingly, energy. Yes. Anything further?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Jeshua?
yeah. Uh-huh. I hear a voice.
Victoria.
Hello, dear Jeshua.
Yes. Hello, dear Victoria.
I love you, I love Judy, and I love the Hart family, and I'm very grateful for all of us.
Yes. Well said.
I came across one of the Jeshua online messages, and my question is based on this. Imagine how it would feel to stretch forth your arm and to feel the power of light surging through it. Imagine how that would feel, how the vibration would be so great that the light would shoot forth. You can imagine that. You have known that power.
Right.
The masters reminded me of it, and I practiced.
Right.
Okay, well, I practiced.
Right. And?
I didn't especially experience anything. And then one night, I awoke from sleep, and my arms were just really vibrating, and it just freaked me out, and I just kept saying, stop, stop. Stopped it all. But I had totally forgotten that I was trying to follow your instructions. Online message.
Right.
Okay, what are the wonderful things we can do with the light shooting forth like that?
First of all, to know that you have a body, but you are not the body. The body is the energy, and to be able to actually show yourself, to see the energy shooting out of the hands and feel the vibration of energy in through the arms, to know that you are, I am, living, walking, breathing energy, divine energy. And to know that all is whole, W-H-O-L-E, serving the wholeness of the I am. To know that I am here for a purpose. I am here as the love that needs to be and has to be revealed, shared, known. I am all. And I have a body. I can give the hugs. I can give what needs to be to pick up the one who has fallen. I can help to use the hands, the arms, the body in ways that express love. And I don't just mean bodily love as in a kiss. That's okay too. Kisses are good. They are good signs of the heart opening. But to know that you have fashioned the body in order to be able to reach out, to hug. What happens when you hug? Joy, of course, and it is heart to heart. So yes, it is the love that we've been talking about. Good question. So keep that vibration going and go up to someone who maybe needs a bit of love and give them a hug if you can. You don't have to force yourself on anyone. My beloved friend and teacher, the one you know as Judith, has experienced this, where she went up to someone and gave them a hug. They stepped backwards because they didn't know what hugs were, and the two of them fell over. It can happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being living, breathing, walking love. Thank you. Right.
Send out that love, Victoria.
Yes.
Send it out.
We feel it.